Welcome, Lacrosse fans. One spot left in the semi-final matchups for this year's AGLA Championship, and that'll be determined here tonight in Scottsdale, Arizona at Pinnacle High School as they host the Salpointe Lancers coming up from Tucson, Arizona. First draw went out of bounds without possession, so they're going to set this up again. Pinnacle coming in with a great season tonight, 10-1. Only one defeat on the season coming from Chandler. Otherwise, a perfect season here for Pinnacle and Yuski. On the first draw here, picked up, looked like Santa Suza had it, but actually Ari Jacobs, number 11 here from Salpointe, gets the first draw control. Salpointe having the best season in program history. Came in ranked number 7 to the playoffs and got a win in the first round of the playoffs over their local hometown rivals, Oro Valley, and earning their trip up here to Pinnacle. These teams met earlier in the season, almost a month ago now. Pinnacle with the win then, I believe it was 15-4 score. But this Salpointe team come a long way. Had a really impressive showing against undefeated Chandler a couple weeks ago, holding Chandler to the lowest number of scores they've had all season, as Izzy Shimba comes up with a great early save here. A nice transition game going from Pinnacle as they pass up to Gretchen Yuski coming over the restraining line. And looking for Maddie Hunt on the doorstep, but good crashing defense here by the Lancers, forcing Pinnacle back out. Now Delaney McEwen at the top of the 12, feeds inside to Davis. Davis has to walk it back out. I apologize if you're picking up any wind in the mics. It's a very windy night out here at Pinnacle. We got a lightning storm rolling through behind us, and a little bit of concern. We could end up with a weather delay in this game if it gets too close. They are keeping an eye on it. But again, very windy here on the field. Izzy Caputi driving around, again, seeing a lot of composure and solid fundamental defense from the Salpointe team. Same thing we saw in the Chandler game, where I think they surprised a lot of folks in the league with their presence this year. Pass inside the middle, looked like Hunt took a little bit of contact on the head. But Bryn Davis picks up the ball before it's out of bounds, keeps play with Pinnacle. And Salpointe definitely playing with some physicality early in the game here. Going to be testing these officials, seeing how much they're going to let them play. Usually the playoff games tend to see a little bit more contact allowed from the officials, trying to let the players play. This is Ava Muniz in the cage for Salpointe tonight, looking to clear it out. Carly Keller in transition, number 25. For Salpointe as they make a successful defensive stop. Here's Elizabeth Stan. And again, Salpointe not the flashiest team, but great ball control this season. Just, again, good fundamental lacrosse. They've been very effective on the draw and at ground balls. And again, getting that first home playoff game that they've earned in the history of the program just a few days ago. As Ari Jacobs tries to work through And so far, it's been a defensive matchup early in this game. With almost 4 minutes off the clock, still scoreless here at Pinnacle. Here's Tegan Nitschke on the 12 meter, going to get the free position restart. Passes over to Jacobs, comes around looking for the shot, but gets fouled inside the 8. This is going to set Ari Jacobs up with a free position shot. Jacobs driving in, looking for that shot. She's got the low angle, finds the bottom right corner. Salpointe on the board first. I'm talking with head coach Simon Keller before the game, super excited about the team and the way they've played this season. Coming in here and you're just looking for them to play their game. A lot of newer players on this team, but he said they've been putting in the work and really thinks it all starts at the draw control. One of the interesting strategies from Salpointe, head coach here, he doesn't tell the players which player has to take the draw. He's got 4 draw specialists on his team, Tegan Nitschke and Brianna Nitschke, the sisters, number 8 and 14, as well as Carly Keller, number 25, and Ari Jacobs, who you see now on the draw. He lets the 4 of them decide who's going to take the draw, and he trusts them to make that decision. And it's been working well for him so far this season. Maddie Hunt comes in, gets the draw in for Pinnacle. Gets it passed up to Souza. And now Pinnacle back on attack.
Nice to meet you.
Looking for that feed inside to Davis, but McEwen with the recovery. Nice look on the doorstep to Souza and saved by Nunez. Ball just outside the goal circle here, still in play as we fight for this GB. And Yuski finally picking it back up for Pinnacle. Passes up top, looking for the quick shot. I think we're going to get a dangerous shot here from Izzy Caputi. Dangerous follow through. It's going to be the first yellow of the game. And Caputi's going to head out for 2 minutes. And Salpointe gets the power play as that distinct smell of rain washes over the field. Again, going to be keeping a close eye on the weather here. Just keep in mind, if there's been 3 quarters of play, 75% of the game, they can conclude the game as finished. They won't have to reschedule. It looked like Yuski may have lost her cleat. A lot of these players have their cleats double knotted. It's not easy to get them back on quickly. I think Bryn Davis looking back to confirm if play had actually started. Salpointe looking to double here. They got the player up advantage, and Pinnacle doesn't look to be driving and taking a shot, just trying to hold the ball, run out the penalty. Souza looking for the lane. She draws that shooting space call inside the 8. As Caputi still waiting for that time to expire. Souza going to get the center hash. Again, Ava Muniz in the cage for the Lancers. And Salpointe defense able to get in there and get a stick on the shot. Deflects it over the top of the cage and backed up by Salpointe. So successful defense as Tilly Thompson, number 33, brings it back in. Get things going here for Salpointe. And penalty's been released as Caputi makes her way back on the field. Even strength. Now Muniz looking to clear this out. Now Muniz out of the cage. Caputi defending. Muniz decides to walk this one up. She's at the restraining line, passes over top. Had a few open players, but not able to hit her target, so ground ball whistle called. And could be a pause for the Lightning. As we see everyone heading over here again, this weather was getting close. Just 2:38 to play here in the first. So we may go on a pause here for a weather delay. And usually when you see everyone looking at their phones, they're checking those apps to see how close the weather strikes are. Lightning strikes, excuse me. Again, no possession there. They were fighting for ground ball, so they normally wouldn't be able to call a timeout in a scenario like that. So it'd have to be something involving player safety, such as a lightning delay. And they will let the players play in rain. It's just lightning that they won't allow the game to continue. So if they do go with the lightning call, the game will have to pause for a minimum of 30 minutes. And then if it's all clear, they can resume. But we did have a game earlier this season, also with Pinnacle, over at Xavier. And that game actually ended up getting canceled after over an hour delay waiting for the lightning to clear. And just got too late, so they had to cancel and reschedule that game for later. Of course, this being a playoff game, won't have that luxury on a tight schedule. We got the semifinals scheduled just next Monday and Tuesday. And of course, being Friday, if we can't get the game done tonight, gonna probably have to figure out how to do it over the weekend. And of course, not an easy game for these two teams to play. They're about as far apart as it gets in the league. Pinnacle here up in North Scottsdale, and Salpointe coming all the way up from Tucson to play this match. Looks like we're still waiting for a decision from the table here. And for what it's worth, I'll say there's been no visible lightning strikes. As I say that, jinx, I just saw one. Quite a ways off in the distance, and maybe they saw it too as they just pulled the players off the field. And there's a second strike indeed. Not hearing the thunder, so I'm sure it's a distance out, but definitely within eye shot for sure. And of course, we'll take a look here at the playoff picture while we're waiting. Again, this is the final spot here for the semifinals. So starting on the left there, number 1 Chandler taking out number 8 Cactus Shadows yesterday. Cactus Shadows got that win over Horizon at home, but wasn't able to get it done against Chandler. So Chandler moving on and still undefeated this season at number 1 seed. You also had the 4 and 5 teams playing. So DV was able to get a win over Notre Dame at home, went up to Chaparral last night, and that was a close one. I think the final was 8-5 on that, but Chaparral getting the win at home. So they'll be taking on Chandler Huskies, and that'll be the first semi game next Monday at Arcadia High School, 7 p.m. We'll be bringing you that live stream here on South Mountain Lacrosse. Over on the other side, you got Higley, number 3. They were able to take out Xavier last night, 14-4. So quite a spread there. I think more than a lot of folks were expecting. But Xavier was able to get the win at home on Corona del Sol before that. So Higley moves on. In the final match here, Salpointe getting the win over Oro Valley. Convincing win, which is surprising. They just played about a week before that. Went double overtime. Salpointe got the win off a free position goal, 10-9. But again, was able to beat their hometown rivals Oro and move on to this Pinnacle game here. And it looks like we have that confirmation of the weather delay as these teams are heading off field. So we're going to have a 30-minute delay. We'll probably stop the broadcast here. So it's going to be a 30-minute delay. We will go ahead and pause the live stream, but we will be back if they let us. And we'll hopefully be bringing you the game back live here in 30 minutes. And if we're not able to bring you that game back, we'll make sure we get on the chat at least and let you know if that game is canceled or postponed. But again, given the fact that this is a playoff game and this is something that's got to get done before next Tuesday to decide who's going to go up against Higley, I'm sure they're going to try to get this done tonight. So with that, we'll sign off for now. And we'll be back just as soon as we can.
Just getting set up, had to do a complete breakdown and rebuild. Game just back underway as we're on a soaked field now. Had a big giant red cell passing over the field, but the lightning's clear and the officials cleared the game, and we got out here quickly and had to rebuild the streaming setup as fast as we could, and we're live now. Game's back on, and we're going to get it done tonight here at Pinnacle. Inside from Yuski Davis, and on the second attempt, shot and goal for 19, Emma Lewis. And now knotted up 1-1. A minute 32 to play here in the first. draws up Pinnacle with the win. Yuski feeding up to Souza. A great knockdown play by Ari Jacobs. Almost had the turnover for Salpointe. Now Jacobs going to take a yellow card here for a check to the neck on Delaney McEwen. Pinnacle going to get the power play advantage here for the next 2 minutes, and that'll carry over into the second quarter. And Souza turns and has the ball knocked out. No foul on the play, but Davis there to the rescue, picks up the GB. And both these teams, I'll tell you, coming out with a lot of energy, excited that this game was able to continue. Not a lot of options if it hadn't. Again, the semifinals planned for Monday and Tuesday, and Davis over to Hunt. And a great defensive stop there by Ava Munez in the Salpointe defense. And Lancers, again, just a great defensive effort here, but Maddie Hunt able to sneak one through. Now Pinnacle taking a 2-1 lead as this game gets back underway. And there was just 2.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter when that lightning delay took us out, and there was thunder and lightning directly over the field and quite the downpour. And Pinnacle trying to get a shot off here before the buzzer, but not able to do so. So that'll be a quick wrap here for the end of the first. We'll have a 2-minute intermission. Officials seem anxious to get this second quarter going. I'm pretty sure that wasn't a full 2-minute intermission. Team's already back on the field, and of course had plenty enough break and only played 2.5 minutes there, so it makes sense to get through this first to second quarter intermission quickly. I will say there was some conversation during the intermission while we were waiting on whether we would play the required 3 quarters and wrap or play the full game here, and I didn't hear a final answer on that. So again, once we play 3 full quarters, that does meet the requirement for a complete game. But hopefully we'll get a full 4 quarters here tonight, and Pinnacle coming out on fire as Emma Lewis gets another one off the fast break. fair to say so far this break has favored Pinnacle a little bit more than Salpointe. Salpointe was definitely putting up quite the fight there in that first quarter before the break. But Pinnacle's come out with 3 quick goals in less than 3 minutes of play. And that draw just barely legal, as it barely went above the players' heads, but doesn't have to go up very much. But Elizabeth Stan getting a draw win here for Lancers. And the double team here is Pinnacle still having that player up advantage from that yellow card against Jacobs just before the end of the first. Again, talking with Coach Keller before the game, his team came up here with a lot of confidence and believes they've got a shot here tonight. If they can play their game and especially control the ball. As Kinsey Novak makes a great check. It looks like that was an illegal check, so they're going to keep the ball over with T. Mitchke. And Coach Reggie Younger, he knows as well not to take this Salpointe team lightly. As he put it, they didn't drive all the way up from Tucson just to lay down, so his team focusing on the present and knowing they have to play this game and get through this first round to get to the next. So they're not looking ahead, they're focused on the game at hand. Yuski with a nice pass to Souza and a great shot and goal by Savannah Souza. Meanwhile, we can also hear the PA from the Pinnacle Stadium right next to us here on the field as the Pinnacle boys lacrosse team playing the DV boys who came up. Desert Vista getting that win over Higley. We brought you that game a couple nights ago as well. So DV was able to get a girls and boys night at Desert Vista, and both DV teams getting the win there. And now Pinnacle with the same opportunity, girls and boys playing concurrent games here at Pinnacle tonight. And both playoff matches. Now Jacobs back in the game after that yellow and has the draw win for Pinnacle, or excuse me, Salpointe. Little pop pass behind the net. Lizzie Stan coming in looking for the shot, and she's got it. And after 4 unanswered from Pinnacle, Salpointe finally with a response here and keeps it within 2. Definitely give a shout out here to the Pinnacle crew working the game here tonight to get this game going again. They actually had some push brooms out here to get some heavy water out on this bottom left side of the field from the camera point of view, so almost where the play is heading right now. There was a huge amount of water on the field, too much to play, and they actually had to come out and sweep that water off the field in order for this game to get going again. So a lot of committed folks here, and a great look over top as Yuski tiptoes the goal circle and gets on the board. Nice pickup here by T. Mitchke. And ball down. Again, very wet field here, so I'm sure that's impacting some of this ground ball play. But it looks like Savannah Souza might be heading off field for something that happened off ball. So hopefully she's okay, and Mitchke now over the restraining line on the attacking third for Salpointe. Lancers again with some good ball control here despite the pressure defense coming in from Pinnacle. There's Team Mitchke. Does end up getting it taken away. But another opportunity here as the ball goes back and forth over the restraining line and picked up by Sierra Cordova. Davis on the redefend as Cordova gets back over the restraining line. Gets a little help there as a couple players from Pinnacle have to hold back. But now she's got star Pinnacle defender Kinsey Novak on her. And Cordova finally able to work through. Gets a feed to Jacobs with a couple spin dodges. I think the story of the night so far is really how both these defenses have been performing, really limiting the opportunities. Jacobs trying to come in, get that crease roll, bounce shot fired. And that shot backed up by the Lancers. As Jacobs brings it back into play. Passes up to Lizzie Stan. Salpointe attack really doing what they've been doing all season here. A slow break, working around the perimeter and just showing a lot of patience, waiting for the right shot opportunity. As Bree Mitchke comes in and gets on the board. And with 5 minutes to play here in the second, Lancers are here to play. Definitely making it a game tonight here with Pinnacle. Draws up. Jacobs looked to have it, but loses it. Now a chase for the ball here as it hits towards the restraining line. I think we got an empty stick check called, most likely, as the ball comes back, and Jacobs going to get another draw win for the Lancers. Nice pass over, finding the open player, and gets the bounce shot and goal. Lizzie Stan getting her second of the night as she backs off the double team and gets open, and a great look by Salpointe. It's 4:10 on the clock, just a 1-point game. And another good battle for the draw here. This time Souza has it, and good to see her back in the game after stepping off field there a moment ago. Feeds up to Caputi. Pinnacle now working the ball around the outer perimeter. Missed pass picked up by McEwen. Looks like another yellow card. This one going against Bree Mitchke. So second yellow, looked like a check to the head called. They don't stop the clock. I'm pretty sure the clock was supposed to stop there. I don't think the officials noticed either, but every time there's a yellow card, clock stops, even in a running clock situation. And it's possible, given the time on this game, that the two teams might have agreed to go to a running clock here just to wrap this game a little bit faster. So we'll see how the play continues here, but even in that situation, should still be stopping on a yellow. And a good defensive stand here, especially in this player down situation, as Ava Muniz passes up, has a great look, hits Keller. And up to Mitchke. And with 2 minutes to play here in the first half, Salpointe now with a chance to run this penalty out and could potentially come out of it unscathed if they could keep Pinnacle from scoring during the 2 minutes of that yellow card. But here it looks like Pinnacle's going to get the ground ball and come back the other way, so Souza comes across the midfield. And a great stop there by Cordova. Izzy Caputi able to fire one. There's a whistle right after the shot there. I think we might have an injury on the other side of the field here. This coach and trainer comes out. I think that might be number 12, Kinsey Novak. Looks to be holding her hand. Of course, that'll be a tremendous loss for Pinnacle if she has to step out of the game. And given the wetness of the field, I almost wonder if there was maybe a slip and fall or something that happened. Looks like she's going to try to stay on the field here. Draw up as Savannah Souza comes in and able to beat Jacobs this time and get the draw win for Pinnacle. And I think she just stepped on the boundary line there as she was passing, so turns over Salpointe ball. Carly Keller on the restart for the Lancers. Actually, I think that might be Isabella Heffernan. Now I think she had a false start there, or some sort of illegal procedure with the boundary line, so back over to Pinnacle. A nice check on the inside there from Jacobs, breaking up the shot and creating the GB opportunity. Goal circle violation called on Sofia Garcia, number 2, for the Lancers. So ball back over to Pinnacle as Izzy Caputi gets things going again. Now 10 seconds on the clock as Pinnacle tries to get a shot off here. McEwen losing the cradle but able to recover. And a pass, or possibly shot, not sure, but either way, that's going to do it for the first half here. And at the end of 2, Pinnacle up 6-4 over Salpointe. We'll have a short halftime, come back for the second half of this AGLA quarterfinal playoff matchup to decide who goes on to that semifinal round next week against Higley. right, well, hopefully you're still with us, staying up late here. About 9:30 local time. Usually these games would be wrapped up about an hour ago, actually, and we still got probably 45 minutes or so of play here. 24 minutes of actual play. And what so far has been a good battle between these two teams. It was interesting talking with Coach Younger beforehand. He pointed out that this Pinnacle team, which is one of the winningest teams in state history, hasn't been to a state championship since 2019. And that's certainly their goal as they continue on in these playoffs. Felt like the team had a good 3 practices this week leading up to this game and very focused coming in. Ari Jacobs, just been a force on this draw tonight for Salpointe. Comes up with another one. So we get this third quarter going. Mackenzie Novak still down there, and looks like she might be nursed the handle a bit, but on the crease roll, that's a hat trick for Lizzie Stan. As Salpointe keeping things interesting here on a late Friday night. Again, last time these teams met, Pinnacle had a convincing win, 14-4 over the Lancers. So certainly not the same Lancers team that they're facing here tonight, as they've made a lot of progress here over these last 4 weeks since they last played. Now Souza and Jacobs chasing it down. This time Jacobs with the draw win for Salpointe. Coming through, gets it over to T. Mitschke. And Mitschke working from X, looking for the pass up to the feed. And Lancers continue to make smart passes here. And what an assist over to Ari Jacobs as they knot things up here, 6-6. Looks like the assist came from Bree Mitschke, number 14. As Jacobs gets her second on the night. I think this just goes to something else Coach Reggie was saying before the game. While Pinnacle's had a great season, as far as he's concerned, everyone's record here is 0-0 in the playoffs. And draw not above the players' heads this time, so I'll set this back up. And typically the way this will work at the high school level is if one of the players makes a procedural error or false start, then they'll award the ball to the other. But if the official doesn't see anything, either side going early, then they just reset up the draw. Things a little different up at the college level. They go with an alternate possession in that scenario, as Bryn Davis gets this one coming in on the fast break. Has a nice look to McEwen. A good slide inside by Salpointe. Jackson there, 33 with the slide, and got the ground ball. Check on the hand. And that's usually legal. The hand's considered part of the stick, so a check on the hand, not an automatic foul like you might expect. So taken right back by Davis, and nice look to Yuski using her height advantage, but not able to get the shot off. So is Isabella Heffernan, number 5 for Salpointe. Gets the whistle, restart, and trying to pass over to Cordova. Being pressured by Yuski, but able to feed it up to Mitchke, and nice knockdown by Delaney McEwen. As both teams just playing hard here in this playoff game. You can tell both teams want it. And just some great lacrosse happening on screen right now. Looking for a pass up to Davis, who's not able to pull that in. Goes out of bounds on the far side. On the restart here is going to be number 2 for Salpointe, Sophia Garcia. That's a nice look upfield. Lancers transitioning over without a lot of pressure on the right here from Pinnacle, coming in all the way and had a look over top, looking for Krista Coppell. Would have had a nice one-on-one shot against Schimber there as Evelyn Vogel comes in and breaks things up, but Jacob's able to keep the ball with Salpointe. Salpointe slowing things down, running some substitutions here, trying to keep fresh legs on the field. Mitchke comes around, Novak looking for that check. Mitchke fires one, saved by Schimber, passes out and knocked right back down by Bree Mitchke. Coach Keller calls a timeout as Salpointe has possession here inside the CSA. 7:47 on the clock here in the third, tied up 6-6. Home crowd here, not quite able to know what to make of this game so far. Been pretty quiet since we come back out and restarted play, but really about as exciting of a playoff game as you can hope for. In fact, certainly the most competitive of the 4 quarterfinal matches we've seen so far. AGLA getting that win over Xavier 14-4. Chandler also getting Cactus Shadows up to a running clock. A close matchup last night between Chaparral and Desert Vista, as Chaparral getting the win there 8-5. Teams coming back out here and been asked to relay out to you fans that here at these 2 semifinal games going to be happening Monday and Tuesday at Arcadia High School, both at 7 p.m. First game already set. Chandler going to be playing Chaparral. That's the 1 seed versus the 4 seed. Higley, number 3 seed, going to be playing the winner of this game, which currently, of course, knotted up. So too early to tell. But the message I've been asked to relay to you all is to make sure you're aware that there are going to be food trucks at the event. So a little more incentive. Come out and support some local lacrosse. Even if your team's not in it, great opportunity just to come out and show these girls some support as they've all been playing hard this season. Team Mitchke trying to drive through. And I think we're going to get a yellow here as she gets pushed over. And that one going against number 23, that's Olivia Bossuet. I'm not sure if I missed a yellow or not, but as it currently stands on my card, I've got 2 yellows for Salpointe, 2 for Pinnacle. And of course, if either team gets to 4, they play a permanent player down from that point on. But each team has at least 2 at the moment. I think we had a little early start there from Evelyn Vogel, number 11. As Team Mitchke's out on the hanging hash for this 8-meter shot. Izzy Schimber in the net, and Mitchke doesn't like the angle, decides not to take the shot. It's usually the smart play. Not often those hanging hash free positions work out for teams, so makes a good call. And Pinnacle able to successfully defend on this possession, gets the ball back. Souza working upfield. Looking for Caputi, picked up Emma Lewis. Great recovery on the ground ball, has the shot, but saved by Muniz. So Ava Muniz passing back and gonna get it again here. Another opportunity to re-clear and heads back in the goal circle. Again, 10 seconds, they can stay inside that goal circle. Then they have to step out until they're played, and then they can go back in. And Davis making things difficult, and you can see there's some more lightning off in the distance, so hopefully, if we get through at least another 6 minutes of play here, this will count as a full game. Although it still wouldn't resolve anything with the current score at 6-6. And of course, if you do end up with one team ahead and you get to that third quarter, if you're the team that's down, you're definitely hoping that you get to play the full 4 quarters. As I say that, we can hear some thunder. Ari Jacobs comes in and putting Salpointe back on top, 7-6. Jacobs with a hat trick on the night. So Lizzie Stan, Ari Jacobs leading the way here for the Lancers squad. Alright, looks like we had a early entry on the Lancers. So Gretchen Yuski now coming over. So a timeout has been called. Oh no, not a timeout, sorry. Thought I heard a timeout call there, but not a timeout. There must have been some sort of an offsides or some other type of off-ball foul for possession to get turned over like that. As Muniz has her stick checked by Caputi back there. Still able to hold on to it, pass it up. Hits Cordova. I've been texted that another storm cell is moving this way, so certainly something to keep an eye on this clock as we're at 4:44 for finish off this quarter. And another storm comes in and the game gets delayed again for weather. It wouldn't be delayed, they would just call the game concluded at whatever the score is. So certainly a possibility still that we don't get the full 4 quarters here tonight. As Evelyn Vogel set to restart things for Pinnacle. Up to Taylor Conti. Mitchke on the ride. Conti gets over. Working around, looking for the assist to McEwen, but again, great defensive positioning here from Salpointe, just shutting down the lanes, taking away the opportunities. Whistle called. And Tilly Thompson going to have to head behind Caputi here. As Pinnacle holds possession. Again, just a different game dynamic here tonight. We really need to try to get the lead for either team. If you're Pinnacle, you got to get this score. There's thunder happening as I'm talking. I can hear it. And just like that, Emma Lewis knots things back up at 7 on a game that can be stopped at any moment. Emma Lewis with the hat trick now. 3:12 to go here in the third. And really anyone's game at this moment, been going back and forth. Going up against Carly Keller this time. Ball heading over to the restraining line. Bryn Davis with the pickup. Coming across. But Cordova picks Davis up, and great pressure defense pushing her out. And a quick shot there. Might have been off the post, but Emma Lewis picking up the rebound behind the net, feeding up to Souza. Picked up by Lizzie Stan. Souza coming around. And a shooting space called by official David Woodson. More thunder in the sky. 2:21 on the clock. Savannah Souza, top center hash. On the free position, chance for Pinnacle, take the lead here, and they get it. Jacobs with another draw control, trying to work around Davis. It's interesting, get those fouls there, and if Jacobs wanted, she could actually stop and the officials would force play to move back. But a lot of these players, when they get fouled in the midfield, they've got the self-start, they don't have to wait for a whistle, so they usually just keep moving. That ball checked out of bounds, back over to Pinnacle. Izzy Schimber. Trying to feed up to Kenzie Novak, but that's one picked up by Bree Mitchke. Zeller takes another timeout here with his Salpointe team. Minute 16 on the clock here in the third. Again, you can see on your screen there, certainly some lightning off in the distance. Continuing to get rolling thunder. Of course, just another minute and 16 of play required for this game to be counted as complete. Salpointe with the ball. Bree Mitchke. Jacobs coming in, trying to force through, not able to do it. I think she's going to get a yellow card here. I think that was against Kenzie Novak this time. So number 3 for Pinnacle. More importantly, gives Salpointe the free position shot. Schimber in the cage defending as Jacobs comes in, gets the bounce shot, and we're knotted up again. 8-8. Whistle, this draw given to Pinnacle. Ren Davis coming through with speed. 30 seconds. Some pretty big lightning now happening off in the distance. Certainly starting to get a feeling that this game could just stop at any moment. Thunder hitting just a couple of seconds after the strike here. Feet inside, ground ball in front of the cage as Caputi hits the deck. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, and there's no guaranteed shot off these penalties, so that's going to do it at the end of 3. Munez. What a critical save. Could be a game-saving save there for Ava Munez in the cage. And at the end of 3, tied 8-8. So another short intermission here. Not sure we'll get the full 2 minutes, but we'll be right back here for the final 12 and what's been an exciting playoff game here at Pinnacle, certainly I think exceeding everyone's expectations as Salpointe has come up and give this number 2 seed all they can handle. And we'll be right back. fans watching at home. I'm not sure what's being said on the sidelines here, but I'd be on the edge of my seat if I were you. I think you can almost think of this as a golden goal at any point. They've now met the requirement for a complete game. If either team gets a lead here and the game is called, they'll be moving on to that semifinal match against technically next week. The other team will be going home. Officials are just trying to move on as quickly as possible here. Lightning strikes off in the distance here, starting to pick up quite a bit actually. There was a huge one there if you caught that on the screen. Now on the fast break, off the draw. And I imagine some of that thunder must be coming through the microphone at this point. So off the foul. Bryn Davis getting the first inside hash. Evan Muniz defending in the cage. Every goal counts. At this point, Davis fires one. Muniz with a big stop. And now a fight for the ball here after the stop. Looked like a hold was called against Pinnacle. Going to be Lancer's ball as they bring this back for the restart.
Ari, you gotta help!
How about Eva Muniz, number 40, having a big night here in this playoff game with some critical stops, keeping Salpointe in the game. Sofia Garcia passes back to Muniz. Muniz certainly seems aware of what she can and can't do. You see a lot of goalies come out of that goal circle, and even after they've been played, they just continue to stay out when they can go back in. Muniz calm, cool, and collected as she stays in, doesn't feel pressure to come out, and waits for the right opportunity and gets it up to Isabel Hefferman, working up the near side here. And starting to feel some raindrops again. Lightning coming in. Akabuti up to Savannah Souza. Rain starting to fall here. And a charge called as Cordova hits the deck. Ball going to be coming back the other way.
Ari, you gotta go get the ball, Ari!
Looked like T. Mitchke was going down there off the charge call.
Switch with somebody! Just go get it!
Muniz finds Jacobs, working around Souza. Jacobs getting pressured towards the far side, able to find the escape to Bree Mitchke. Whistle called here in the midfield. As Bree Mitchke passes up, great knockdown by Savannah Souza, who runs into Jacobs. Pinnacle really in a must-score situation at this point. Timeout called by Coach Reggie for Pinnacle to discuss this. 8:11 on the clock. Officials are making these timeouts and intermissions about as fast as they can be.
You ready for it?
Pinnacle looking for the feed inside. And a shot. And Ava Muniz coming up with another big stop. Caputi with the knockdown. Fight for the ground ball here. Whistle. Given to Pinnacle. Both teams just continuing to match up so well here. And Salpointe right there, making another defensive stop. The Thunder just continuing to roll here. And I think they might be actually calling the game again here, tied 8-8. I'm sure this is unprecedented, probably never happened in the history of the league. Not sure what we're going to do with this. 7:16 on the clock. They really got to finish play, but there's actually more lightning now than there was when they stopped the game earlier.
You get a team up and we both play league. Join forces.
One way or another, it's been one heck of a game, I'll tell you that. Fans starting to pack up here. Not a good sign. After 10 p.m. local time here, if you're watching from somewhere other than Arizona. But they've shut the scoreboard off. As you can see in the top right corner there, that feed is down. And rain's starting to pick up here again. We may actually have to go in and take another break. I don't know if they're going to want to come back out and finish this game in 30 minutes. But it's starting to get more rain here again on the field. You can start to see it coming through on the camera here. And indeed, it sounds like it's going to be another 30-minute delay, so apologies, folks. But there's definitely lightning and rain overhead directly over us at this point. So we're unfortunately going to have to repeat what we did earlier. We're going to kill the stream here for a minute. They're going to have us all break down and exit the field, and we'll give you updates to the chat as we can, and we'll be back and hopefully finish this playoff game, which I'm sure is going to be the longest playoff game in AGLA history. If it was either team ahead at this point, I'm sure they would just call the game, but since it's tied, really put in an awkward situation here on a playoff game, got to have a winner. And with that, folks, I'm going to go ahead and sign off here again as the rain's starting to come down a little heavier on the equipment, and we'll be back just as soon as we can.